Hi, I am Dr. Kim Sage. Welcome to my YouTube channel and to this week's videos all about how our often complicated childhood experiences, sort of how they show up in our lives and relationships in terms of the lies we tell ourselves, the burdens we carry, and the triggers. We're going to go through all of those this week. If you are new here, I'm so glad you're here. I'm a licensed psychologist, and really I specialize in helping people heal from often very complicated, as I said, childhoods around parents who may have had narcissism or borderline, those of us who had parents who were emotionally immature or sort of technically really toxic in some kind of patterned way. And also really quickly, just in case you are looking for ways to heal your life and understand what happened to you more, because so many people have shared with me that even in therapy at times, they don't feel like the therapist at times really understood, especially the very fine nuances of, let's say, high-functioning narcissistic types of parents or untreated borderline parents. And so as a result of those experiences and my own story, I have 3 courses really quickly. And this is actually a printout of the PDF of the workbook on my remothering course. And it is just full of knowledge and information on how to heal your childhood, little child inside, and to learn to reparent yourself as both the adult and the child. And really my flagship course, which is this one called Borderline and Narcissistic Parents, Healing and Dealing with Your Trauma. And same thing, there are, I think, 75 lessons in the online course, everything from exercises and information and patterns and types of different, NPD and BPD type parents, to how to build identity and set boundaries, to what to do with the relationships you're in with these parents if you are, how to deal with no contact or create no contact, and at the core to just be truly understood and learn how to heal your life. So please check those out down below. There's some links and checklists and also a free course to help you identify what may have happened to you in your childhood. Okay, let's get into it. So this video today, we're just gonna really talk about what are the lies that we have been told based upon the behaviors, the patterns, the emotional relationships or lack thereof as a result of having more toxic, emotionally unsafe, immature, or maybe higher on the spectrum of disorders in terms of personalities, how that may have impacted us. So the first one is, number 1 is you're a bad person deep inside. And this is that core belief where most of us we wouldn't say that. We wouldn't actually say, I think I'm a bad person. We might, but it's like manifesting at all times in how we think about ourselves, how we belittle our feelings, how at the core we feel like there's just something about us that is bad. And that has often been the internalization of repeated patterns of emotional wounding, of criticalness and controlling behavior, or just complete emotional neglect and not being cared for. But as I've said, and I said in this video, and I really believe this, that's often, I am bad. Now, for you, it might be, I am unlovable. It might be, I am worthless. I am shame-filled. It could be lots of things, but at the core, often we believe we are bad. Number 2, no matter what we do, we will never be good enough, and our needs don't matter. And we only matter when we are taking on someone else's needs, right? So we don't exist in terms of needs. And as a result, there's nothing we can say or do that gives us any sense of internal value and worthiness. And if there is some kind of worthiness, it is because we are sacrificing for you to have some meaning inside. Number 3, we are too sensitive. We take things too personally, and why can't we just let things go? This is often a common refrain from emotionally wounding parents. You're just a crybaby. You're too sensitive. You can never take a joke. Meanwhile, we've been repeatedly told and expressed and experienced hurtful things again and again and again. And so the lie is that we start to believe that we are too sensitive. And so everything is then because we can't take a joke. Now, the truth is that when we talk about childhoods and how empaths are created separate from highly sensitive people, which many of us already are, which makes wounding parenting that much more difficult for us, right? We start to believe that it's just our sensitivity. And the problem is, I believe it's a beautiful thing to be sensitive. But when you start minimizing what you believe and what you experience because you're just too sensitive, then you don't allow yourself to have any real feelings about anything, right? It's like you're not entitled to your feelings or whatever is bothering you because you're just too sensitive. Number 4, it is your job to take care of me, meaning the parent, emotionally, physically, and otherwise, and to make them happy, support their feelings, solve their problems, be there for their sadness, and the parent's feelings always come first. And so this makes it really hard to separate and set any kind of boundaries if at the core you still believe, and this is often, I will say, true also for many cultures where kids are raised to believe it is their job to take care of parents. Now, I'm not, I don't have an opinion about that one way or the other in terms of what you believe or financially or otherwise. But if these parents were emotionally wounding, and consistently so, and the belief internalized is that they always come first their entire lives until they're no longer here, I mean, that's the whole lifetime where you're spending your entire life thinking about, well into adulthood, well, what would my dad think? What does my mom think? Oh, they don't like this person or this job or this decision. And so, or I have to work harder and sacrifice and support them. Basically, you feel like it's always your job to take care of them. And that is a lie because it makes no room for you to have any sense of value about yourself. Number 5, you are not allowed to have boundaries. Boundaries are a huge problem in toxic, enmeshed, parentified, unhealthy family systems. You're not allowed to set boundaries around your physical space, right? What you say back to them. It's a very authoritarian dynamic where you're not allowed to have any real sense of self. And, even as a child, kids are, I believe, worthy of, yes, they need structure and, boundaries themselves. But this hierarchy always stays the whole life, no matter how old you are, that you're not allowed to speak up for yourself, to say no, to decide what time you want to spend with a parent or not, or what holidays. You just don't get to set those boundaries. And of course, that affects your life, is that then you don't know how to set them with yourself and other people. And then that's how we get into that generational trauma dynamic where we just keep repeating patterns and not realizing it. Next, the parent believes that they can say and do whatever they want, but you are not allowed to express your truth or your feelings without the expectation of punishment or gaslighting, being denied, rejected, whatever. And so there's a very strong belief that the parent has free reign and free will, but if you even get close to speaking up for yourself or doing anything, there will be hell to pay. There is a punishment, there is a rejection, there is some kind of form of gaslighting where even when you try to say something, the belief is that they're always right and you're not allowed to that, and then you're actually made to believe that, like I said, going back to you're too sensitive, you are crazy, and those things. Number 7, the parent will always be someone at the highest part of your life who deserves respect, and you will always be the child. And therefore, you're not really allowed to grow and develop. You're always the child. And as I kind of said earlier, that hierarchy always exists. And as a result of that hierarchy, it justifies any wounding behavior your entire childhood, your entire adult life with these parents. And lastly, the lie we internalize is that being too close to anyone is a dangerous prospect, that it is risky, that we will probably be eventually abandoned. But the lie is that as a result of the parent not being a safe space, all humans eventually will be hurtful, abandoning, dangerous, or whatever. And so being close to anyone is dangerous. So those are, I think, some of the top 8 lies. Please feel free to add what you think I missed. I know there are many more. I was trying to collapse them into the most common and I think pervasive ones. But the core is that we've internalized these things and we're sort of lying to ourselves, but we don't know that we're lying. We believe that this is sort of the law of the land. This is how it works. And that is why I talk about it so much in this course, is that for so many of us, the relationships with our parents, even though I make all these videos and TikToks, they're not always bad for many people, right? There are often these good moments or times. It's just that the pattern of wounding behavior is so much greater and so much more significant than the good stuff. But the good stuff, or our dependency or our belief in the lies, often keeps us hooked in, and it can make recovery and healing our own trauma and childhood very, very difficult. And as I said, and I do believe it is the most difficult if you had a parent with an untreated and undiagnosed borderline type disorder in either parent, where although it manifests differently oftentimes in people in a wide range of dynamics, the core is this lack of emotional safety and relational safety and mood, connection that feels somewhat safe and consistent. But because it's not always bad, that makes it so much harder. And if we've internalized these lies and beliefs, right, we're really stuck around what that means. So that is it for today's video. I hope you found this video helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell, and that way you'll get notified when I post new videos. And I thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye guys, take care.